mid-foot shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R. Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Hockey fans around 16 Mile Creek have waited 9 years to hear it. Your Oakville Blades, OJHL Buckland Cup champions.
Trenton was hopping on Saturday for the CH Game of the Week, and the Golden Hawks didn't fail to disappoint the big home crowd. This is the OGA Today. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Alex Bastivansky. Stop number 6 on the national broadcast schedule for the CH Game of the Week took us back down the 401 to one of the best junior hockey cities in all of Canada. And this year, Trenton also happens to have one of its best teams. The Golden Hawks have been simply dominant this season, and heading into this contest, they were sitting at number 15 in the latest CJHL national rankings, and they showed everyone why against the Markham Royals. Game highlights now brought to you by BioSteel. BioSteel, the official isotonic beverage of the OJHL. The Golden Hawks have been planning this game for months, and they came through big time. They called it the Face-Off for Foundation game, and the Hawks managed to raise nearly $9,000 for the Trenton Memorial Hospital. Way to go, guys. Great job. And the home side does hit first. Wyatt George, watch the itchy trigger finger right there as he rips it past Nick Stofchek, and it's 1-0 for the G-Hawks. Just 2 minutes later, though, the Royals respond. Shane Hyman provides the screen out front, and then Oberoi can't see a thing, and in it goes. Matt Ciolin's point shot finding the back of the net. Back to Wyatt George, the Pennsylvania native, had a huge game for the Hawks. There's his second tally, all within the first 11 minutes of play. 1 goal in the second. It's a beauty.
Gives himself some room, walks off the boards, in on goal, scores! Colin Vandenherk, a great individual effort. It's 3-1.
Yeah, Vandenherk with one of the plays of the week. Third period, the Royals were hanging around for a while. Nick Davis, soft hands from in close. He makes it a 1-goal game. Sam Duchesne, though, set the all-time single-season record for scoring by a Trenton defenseman in this game. That blast made it 4-2, and yeah, he gets rightfully congrats from his teammates. Soon after, great play by Adam Kim. He puts it in, and watch another look here as he shields the puck from the Royals D-man who's chasing him and manages to slide it past Stofchek. 1,000 strong at Duncan Memorial Arena, went home happy as the Golden Hawks win 7-3. Okay, Wellington and Trenton continue to vie for first in the East. The Dukes need these 2 points against St. Mike's, and they draw first blood. 37 seconds in, Justin Paul firing it past Sebastian Labora. 1-0 for the home side. A double blue hit back, though. Brad Summers, nice backhander over the shoulder of Matt Dunsmore. 1-1 after 20 minutes of play. 1 goal in the second. Frank Vitucci with his 32nd of the season, and the best part about this tally is the kid right there losing it. That is one happy child. 2-1 Dukes. Third frame, they keep it coming. Brody McDougall dances past Labora, makes it a 2-goal bulge, and then it's Mr. Vitucci grabbing his 33rd of the campaign. How good has Frank been this year for the Dukes? They managed to hold off the St. Mike's Buzzers 5-3 to stay close with Trenton in that battle for first place out east. Okay, St. Mike's was trying to bounce back the next day against Mississauga. The Chargers desperately needed points, but they looked just out of it on this day. Opening frame, it was the Alexander brothers going to work for the Buzzers. First, it's Ryan Roof Daddy to make it 1-0, and then it's the other half of the Alexander dynasty, Jonah this time, as he takes the pass and fires it home. And it was 2-0 at the break. Second stanza, the double blue really turned it on. Irvine makes the first stop here, but Brad Summers right there to smack the rebound in, and it was 3-0, just constant pressure by St. Mike's in the second. James Gibbons, little, watch it, spinorama out front right there, in it goes. There was some questioning by the Chargers as to if it actually did cross the line, but Take another look here as we'll blow it up and slow it down a bit, and yet just sneaks entirely over the line. 4-0 Buzzers. Thomas Sinclair completes the route 4 minutes later on the power play as he wristed it past new keeper Frank Bull. Mississauga just not looking good on this day as they drop 2 essential points to St. Michael's. The Warrior Players of the Month were announced, brought to you by Warrior Hockey, official hard goods supplier to the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Let's start in the Northwest Conference, and it's Nate Burke of the Buffalo Junior Sabres, who have looked really good lately. And look at this, 24 points, 6 goals, 18 assists in January. In the Southeast, Patrick Delvecchio of the Brampton Admirals took home the nod as he continues to try to lead Brampton to a playoff spot, and 15 points, 2 goals, 13 assists. Great month by Patrick. And the goalie of the month, Brennan Bonello, continues to be the straw that stirs the Pickering Panthers. He won the goalie nod, and he has been the catalyst behind their resurgence. 7-2-0 record. Look at that save percentage, 928 for the month of January as the Panthers, they continue to lead the North Division. Congratulations to all the winners. This portion of the OJ Today is brought to you by Q-Collar, official safety partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And welcome back to the OJ Today. Saturday evening saw one of the biggest games of the year go down in Oakville. The Wellington Dukes were in town. It was a rematch of last season's Buckland Cup final, in which the Blades swept the Dukes in 4 straight games. But both teams are once again tearing up the league this year and were placed in the top 20 in the latest CJHL national rankings. So on Saturday, it was a tantalizing glimpse of what we could once again be seeing in the championship final this April. Revenge is a dish best served cold, as they say. Over 9 months have passed since the Buckland Cup final. This was a heck of a game. We pick it up in the third frame. Oakville leading 2-1. Brody McDougall picks up a power play tally for the Dukes to make it 2-2. And then 2 minutes later, Quinn Hanna, watch him just kind of saunter out here, and then he's going to fire it over the shoulder of Will Barber. And the Dukes have their first lead of the contest. The Blades get on the power play late in the period, though, and it's the future Canisius Golden Griffin, Alton McDermott, tying it up for Oakville, which sent this one off to overtime. And with the man advantage in OT, it's Hanna playing the hero as he beats Barber to give them the win on the road. And is this a preview of the Buckland Cup final again this year? We'll find out in April. The Dukes take this one 4-3. The Georgetown Raiders continue to be the nemesis of the Burlington Cougars. They've had a lot of success against them this year. First period, Mitchell Hewitson batting the puck out of midair. Sign him up, Atkins. 1-0 G-Town. 2 minutes later, future Sarnia Sting forward Nolan Dan continuing his impressive rookie season, beating Max Wright to give them a 2-goal advantage. They actually led 3-0 after 1 in the second, though. Beautiful moves here by Matt Giannini. Mitchell Morrison will ultimately put it in, but that play was all about Giannini doing the heavy lifting. It's a 3-1 game. Just before the buzzer went, Jacob Kelly fires it past Nathan Torkia, and the Cougars trailed by just 1 after 60 minutes of play. They would equalize in the third on the PP. Beautiful passing. Harrison caught him. Boom. One-timer to tie it up, and that is how this one would finish up, as the Raiders let a valuable point walk away. The Cougars come back to tie it 3-3. Well, the Whitby Fury found themselves in a precarious position last weekend. They sat in 4th place out east. The problem was Mississauga sat 5th in the South Division with the same amount of points. So if the Chargers could finish the regular season just a single point ahead, the two squads would have to play a crossover game to determine who would capture the final playoff spot in the Southeast Conference. Now, understandably, that was not an attractive scenario for Whitby, who were determined to get 2 essential points against Lindsay on Sunday. Lindsay sits last place in the East, but you know they'd love to play the role of spoiler down the stretch. Opening frame, Ethan Doyle puts it in from a ridiculous angle there, a weird one. 1-0 Whitby. Lindsay equalizes in the second, though. Noah Party. All kinds of time and space, which are 2 naughty words. If you're an opposing defenseman, he ties it up at 1 apiece. Oliver Tarr is just a rock star in this play for Whitby, though. Leading the Muskies on a merry little chase before feeding Carson Whitson out front. 2-1 Fury after 40. Lindsay would have some good chances to tie in the third, but Patrick Saney would hit the empty net to seal the deal for Whitby as they keep distance between themselves and the teams pursuing them for that crossover game in the Southeast. What in the world is going on with the Patriots right now? Winners of just 8 of 21 games since the start of December, and they get smoked by North York on this day. Tyler Flack gets the home team going as he will risk the shot past Mario Pescia to make it 1-0. Cole O'Hara had a monster game for the Rangers. The future UMass Minuteman dances past Pescia to make it 2-0 right there. And then in the second frame, O'Hara continuing his dominance. This is his second of the contest, and it's 3-0. NYR third period. Watch this play. O'Hara turning Dirk Stadig inside out and then feeding Noah Holm out front. That'll make the top 5 this week for sure. Gorgeous. And then it's, guess who? Yep, O'Hara. Once again, stealing the rubber and just making it all look way too easy. Cole was involved in every Rangers goal on this day. 5 points for him. NYR waltzes 5-0. And our alumni update, Matt Hoover, who played with the Kingston Voyageurs in 2014-15. He's having a great season with the Canisius Golden Griffins. He was named AHA Player of the Month for January. Congratulations. A reminder, the Scotiabank Fan Favorite Award powered by Snapped. Voting is winding down. Here are your current leaders: Kyle Ballers, Jason Stasselback, Carter Talk, Ryan Teverberg, and Nathan Gooch of the Pickering Panthers. You can head to ojhl.ca. I still love watching that hit to cast your votes. And reminder, voting closes on February 16th. 60-second Spotlight is brought to you by College Hockey Inc. College Hockey Inc., official partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League.
Tyler Flack, center, North York Rangers.
Flack on the breakaway, game chase, makes moves, scores!
What I bring to the ice every night would be my compete level. I try to work my hardest every shift I'm out there. I try to be an energy guy for my teammates. I try to contribute offensively and defensively both ends of the ice. Two-way player who can be a leader on and off the ice for my teammates. For me, wearing the C is a huge honor, especially for this organization, coming from a long line of leaders. Just coming to the rink every day and having that responsibility to kind of show my teammates the ropes. This year, I think this team is going to surprise a lot of people. We're going to be a very competitive team. We are a lot younger, but we're going to come out with a lot of energy every night. I feel like we're going to shock some people with how hard we work.
Out in front, shot, scores! Tyler Flack!
This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Troy Hockey. Troy, the official apparel provider to the OJHL. And welcome back to the OJ Today. As time winds down on regular season play, we'll be checking the races each week on our Skype hits. And here today to discuss what happened last week and where things currently stand is my CH Game of the Week partner in crime, Alex Bloomfield. Alex, welcome back.
Hey, favorite time of year.
Favorite time of year? Yeah, it's down the stretch now. And let's take a look by first at the West and some significant injury developments that happened that could definitely affect the playoff race in the Northwest. And let's take a look at the standings here first. Of course, these are changing day by day, so bear with us on that. But fill us in on what went down last week, especially on the injury front.
Yeah, the big one was in Brantford. Couple big injuries in one game. Now, they picked up 2 points in a win over Georgetown, but they lost Connor Ali to a fractured foot, and biggest of all, they lost Kyle Bowlers, who's second in league scoring, one of the most effective scorers in the league. And it's an interesting injury for him, not as serious as Connor Ali with the foot, but he has a broken finger, actually, according to his dad, who's a well-known coach around the OHL or the Ontario Junior Circuit. He tweeted this out, basically said 3 to 4 weeks, but with a finger injury, he'd already been playing with it for a couple weeks and scoring fine. So if Brantford gets into it in the last day of the season, they need a win. I would not be surprised to see Bowlers check back in. We'll see. And if they get into a crossover game, absolutely. I can't see them holding him out if he's been playing with this already.
Going that extra mile, and of course, Bowlers is a guy who's being talked about as a possible MVP this season. He's been obviously the bulk of the scoring for Brantford, so huge missing him. Looking at the North now, Pickering, Stouffville, Collingwood are all going to be playoff bound. Markham, though, is in a life or death struggle to hold on to that 4th spot and not have to, they don't want to have to face that crossover game. And even with Brantford's injuries, though, the Royals, they have some work to do, don't they?
Yeah, they haven't been playing good hockey of late. They definitely have lost more than they've won in the last month or so. And Brantford, without Bowlers, same kind of thing. I mean, they look like a different team entirely. So it's really interesting down the stretch between these two. Markham, neither team really has gimmies on their schedule of 4 or 5 games to go here. There's just not a lot of time to make up a 3-point gap, which what Markham had at one point here with 5 games to go on Brantford. So it's likely we're going to see a crossover in this. I don't see Markham pulling their way through to avoid it, and they're really falling behind the rest of the North there as far as avoiding that crossover from happening. That race to the top is really interesting too in the North.
It is, and in the South, it's shaping up to be a fascinating battle. Nobody is going to catch the Junior Canadians at the top, but North York, Mississauga, Brampton, they're all battling hard. Most likely it's going to be the Chargers and the Admirals hoping to catch Whitby in the East for the crossover spot, and anything's possible right now. There's still a ton of points out there up for grabs.
Yeah, it definitely is. Mississauga has won the season series against Brampton, which is helpful for them. But Brampton took the 2 most recent meetings, so that tells you anything. So they're not going away. They're going to scrap and fight down the stretch here if they can. Big hole to climb out of, though, again, bigger even than Markham's to try to avoid the crossover. They're going to need to play this, probably their best hockey of the year down the stretch. Again, not a lot of easy matchups for them in the final day of the season. It is interesting, though, if you end up with a tie in this division between a couple teams, Mississauga and North York for 4th, or potentially Mississauga and Brampton for 5th, and in crossover position. In that case, you could see a tiebreaker game followed by a crossover on this conference, so that'd be really interesting.
The drama, the drama. It's going to be interesting to watch, no question about it. In the East, yes, Whitby will be trying desperately to hold on to the 4th spot and avoid the crossover game with the South. But the battle at the top between Trenton and Wellington is going to be incredible. They actually play each other on the final weekend of the regular season, and you kind of get the feeling it could come down to that to decide it right at the end.
Yeah, definitely feels like at least it's going to mean something. Friday the 21st, it's going to be fun, I think, regardless, because I think they know they're destined, it seems, to play each other in the second round no matter what happens. I don't see them bowing out to Whitby or Cobourg. But yeah, it's probably going to mean something as far as first or second, because Wellington actually plays a game after that game on the 21st. So they'll actually have a game to go. So there's probably going to be at least something to play for in that game beforehand. Wellington not likely to pull away ahead of that. They got a bit of a tough schedule in the next week or so over this coming weekend. So just be aware, it's going to be a tight one. Wellington has won the season series, though, no matter the result of that Friday game, which actually helps here. That is the second tiebreaker if they tie on points and wins between these two for the top spot.
Well, speaking of Trenton, we had a chance to go there last weekend for the CHCH Game of the Week. Without question, man, it was the best atmosphere we've seen so far this season. The game it had a bit of everything, too, didn't it? And the Hawks managed to raise a lot of money in the course of this for a great cause as well.
Yeah, I've heard different numbers thrown around, but definitely several thousand, I think more than they were expecting. And it's awesome. I really enjoyed my first visit into the old Dunk there. And yeah, definitely a great atmosphere. John McDonald, a pleasure to meet him. And the donuts they were tossing around as well from those local bakeries.
That was as good as anything, wasn't it? The donuts we had. They got some great food in Trenton. Yeah, no question about it. You know what? A great game though it was, and Trenton pulled it out in the end. Lots of physicality, a few scrums at the end as well, which we don't often see in the OJHL these days. So a lot of emotion there. We've got just over a minute left. I got one question. I want to skip back to the South for a second here. The Patriots, what's your read on them? Because of early December, they were in first place by quite a few points over the Junior Canadians. They seem to have faded quite a bit. They have faded. They're a distant second now. What's your read on them?
Yeah, I have noticed a bit of improvement in the last couple of weeks. So I think they've pulled out of the worst of their slide. They're going to rectify, just turn it around in time to hold on to second place and hold off the St. Mike's Buzzers. Do I think they can beat St. Mike's in the first round? Because that's who they're going to play almost with certainty. I think it's going to go 7. It's going to be a long one, going to be a tight one, and it's not definitely the team we saw at the beginning of the year with the Toronto Patriots, that's for sure.
So they look a lot different, no question about it, but hopefully they can turn it around at least. That'd be a great matchup against St. Mike's if that's the case. Thank you so much, my friend, once again for joining us. I will see you at the next CH game of the week. Appreciate it.
I'll be there.
More OJ Today coming up in just a moment.
This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotiabank, the official bank of the OJHL.
Hey, welcome back to the OJ Today. Heading into last weekend, the Brampton Admirals sat last in the South Division standings, but they're not out of the playoff picture quite yet. In fact, a spot is entirely attainable if they can catch and surpass both the Mississauga Chargers and the Whitby Fury for the last available spot. Now, they'd need a bit of luck as well, but with 7 games still left to play, there were still a lot of points out there up for grabs, and they were hoping to get 2 of those against North York on Saturday.
This was supposed to be a rebuilding year for North York, but they've been extremely competitive the whole way. It's Brampton hitting first, though, in the second period. The steal, and then Anthony Pinelli out front. He gives the Golden Red the 1-0 advantage. Tyler Flack evens things up for the visitors as he tips the rubber past Travis Smith right there to make it 1-1. We skip ahead to the third now with the score tied 2-2. Matt Franzoy punches it past Eli Schiller, and Brampton once again takes the lead. Back and forth they went. This goal was just 9 seconds later, and it's Max Donahue squeezing one through Travis Smith. They were fit to be tied on this day as the two sides battle it out and end up in a 3-3 stalemate. Brantford is trying to stay in that crossover wildcard spot in the Northeast. They faced the Patriots. The ice wasn't even dry when Marcelo Pericao smashes one in from the point just 53 seconds in. 1-0 for the Patriots. Matthew Duarte responds for the 99ers, sliding it past Mario Pescia to knot it up at 1 apiece. Colton Ince was under fire all game in the Brantford net. He faced 48 shots on the day. Andrew Horsley getting the tally for the Pats to make it 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Second stanza, Jacob Ball equalizing for Brantford. Sweet moves and even better finish. Pescia getting a piece of it, but can't keep the whole thing out. It's a 2-2 hockey game. Back comes the home side, though shorthanded. Jackson Alexiev using Tiger Zhang as a decoy, pops the bottle himself, and that would actually prove to be the game winner. They would still add 2 more, though. Dante's Inferno burning brightly as Dante Jones gets another shorty for the Pats. They get a much-needed win, taking down the Brantford 99ers by a 5-2 score. Okay, the Stouffville Spirit visiting North Division rival Aurora. Beautiful passing by Stouffville here to start things off as they go tic-tac-toe. Connor May, the finish, and you'll hear his name a lot in this highlight pack, as you'll see. 4 minutes later, Connor does it himself, fights for possession off the draw, finishing past Andrew Barwinski, and then just 50 seconds later, Mayday, he rips his third of the contest, a natural hat trick. It was Connor 3, Aurora 0 at that point. The Tigers do get on the board in the first, though. Jonathan Bala wraps home the rebound to make it a 3-1 game. This is all still in the first period. mind you. And then Stouffville comes back the other way, and it's Luke Strickland, money in the bank. Aurora would get another 4 the rest of the way, but it's not enough as the Spirits grab the 7-5 victory. This was a dandy. Buffalo taking on the Junior Canadians. Matt Redding draws first blood for Toronto as he splits the wickets on Chase Clark to make it 1-0 JRC. Sabres respond. 5 minutes later, Seth Benson somehow finds daylight behind Christian Mariachi. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Skip ahead to late in the third now. Tied it to Matt DeCesare. Gorgeous moves. Liam Fedek puts home the rebound with just 1:15 remaining, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. Buffalo pulls their goalie. Colby Seitz ties it with 30 seconds remaining. It goes to OT.
Spin around. Over now to Cicero in the corner. Sends it towards the side. Seitz scores. Oh, Colby Seitz. What a player. What a game. Colby Seitz.
What a game, all right. Buffalo takes it 4-3 your final. OJ standings brought to you by Jostens, the official ring and awards provider to the OJHL. Starting in the West, Oakville, firm lead at the top now, but watch that 4-5 between Georgetown and Brantford down the stretch as they jockey back and forth. In the North, nothing concrete yet with the who's going to finish top spot, although Pickering leads right now. And in the South, the JRCs, that's for sure, they will capture first place in the South, but that 4-5 battle between North York and Mississauga will be interesting. And in the East, it's all about the 1-2 there. Trenton and Wellington have been battling it out all season long. It'll likely come down to the final weekend of the regular season. Top 5 brought to you by Cliff Bar, the official energy bar of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Number 5, Wellington's Frank Tucci turns on the Jets, and boom, over the shoulder, short side for the gorgeous Tally. Number 4, Georgetown's Mitchell Hewitson. Watch the baseball swing right there, backhanded as well for the home run against the Burlington Cougars. Number 3, Connor May of Stouffville, doing it all himself here, wins the draw, fights off his man, and will finish against the Aurora Tiger. Part of the natural hat trick for Connor in that game. Number 2, Cole O'Hara, 5 points against the Patriots. Beautiful move past Dirk Stadig, and the sweet pass for Noah Holm, who finishes. Number 1, Colin Vanderherk of Trenton against Markham. Dipping and diving, shaking and baking, rocking and rolling. Pick your analogy. Awesome goal either way in front of a national TV audience as well. It's our Cliff Bar play of the week.
And that's all the time we've got for today. But just remember that down the stretch as the regular season closes out, you can always keep up to date with all the latest playoff races and league news by heading to ojhl.ca. And of course, all of your social media options are right there for you to explore as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.